Hey, welcome back to the Emerald Knight, Part 23, The Raft. At this point in the story, I'm getting conscientious about, with the various choices that I've made, in which direction the story is going. I'm getting conscientious about whether or not this story is exciting enough for people to keep following along with it. Concerned about whether or not it has too long of a rolling start, has too much of a rolling start between bigger story beats. I mean, I know we get like conflict between these two characters, and I want to explore that, but at the same time, it's just these two characters up until this point, more or less, except for, the first five or six parts or so. And writing a story like this, recording it, and editing it into videos and putting it up, it's a more, of course it's more time consuming than it would be to just write it, and I can't really just write this story anywhere I go. I have to be in front of my computer to do so. It's an effect of this, that feeling of conscientiousness, that concern, that, it's been months, and we're only on part 23. Maybe it's just me, since I've, been with it for so long, but I mean, I guess that's just the sacrifice I have to make if I want to do this, because I really want to do this. I want to record it and put it up for everybody to see it. I want to do it that way. And that just may be a sacrifice of this sort of way of going about writing a story. And again, it may be just me, but doing it this way feels like a really slow burn. Like you're watching a candle try to burn out its wax, but the wax is fire resistant. I mean, it's been nearly a year since I started this channel. About 4.5 months from now, it'll be a year. But I suppose that's the sacrifice if I want to do this. Moving on from that thought, I would like to say, at least writing it and seeing it, or rereading it after I'd just written it, the environment feels a little too vague, needs some work. I mean, again, it's the rough draft, and I think it's got some good, starting off points for the next draft for revision. But as it is right now, things feel very vague and wishy-washy. I want to feel closer, like I'm actually in this environment, as well as I can describe that. And the feeling of the more psychological and furious feelings that Eranthis is going through, I feel like those could be stronger as well, or be expounded on a little better. Like some deep-seated stuff, Like even through the discomfort of dealing with her illness, I feel like those could be stronger. As well as a feeling of sadness to do with her family and the loss that she had just experienced not too long ago. I don't really mention any of that in this part. That's something to work on, or to keep in mind for revision. I'd like to communicate like a state of woe in Eranthis that's just, in which she just feels shackled to her anger and grief. And jumping off from that in relation to the feeling of concern toward whether or not this has a too much of a slow burn type of start, you know, spending time with these characters in their more psychological moments, I find that interesting. I find that sort of thing interesting to learn about, to read about. It keeps me interested in the character, to understand why they do the things that they do, or why they react the way that they react. Just spending some time with them to really get to know them, rather than just watch them and see what they do. I mean, not that I'm not interested in that, but a character's psychology does interest me. I like learning how characters work, how they process and interpret and react to any sort of given stimulus. And these are the types of things that I want to write about. And I don't want just action, like just the characters doing stuff. I want to see, even if it's not directly looking into their mind and reading their thoughts, I want some indication that, okay, this is what's going on with them because of this thing that happened, or in reaction to this thing, if that makes any sense. Like, it sounds pretty broad and vague, because, like, I mean, what do characters in any story ever do? They react to things that happen. What I'm trying to say is, like, I want a deeper understanding of them as a person. I don't want to just see, oh, angry character gets angry and punches somebody in the face. I want to understand what goes through their mind before they land that punch in somebody's face. I mean, it doesn't have to be in that moment that they decide to punch somebody in the face that we learn what goes through their mind. It can be before or after, you know, in a different scene with the same character, and how we learn, you know, how their mind works and how they interpret and how they choose to react to given stimuli. But that's the sort of thing I like writing about. That keeps me interested. I mean, it's a given that, you know, a fantasy story is going to have a big adventure and I mean, be it, you know, like detrimental or scary or or you know, a fun adventure, depending on the story you read. But being closer to the characters as they go through this adventure, be it fun or daunting, you know, I find that interesting. It sets it apart from just mere action. But that's like a common denominator in my writing. I enjoy exploring how a character's psyche works, or exploring a character's psyche at all. Like, I want a deeper level than just mere action. I want to understand why they did it. Unless, of course, I make it a point to have confusion around why a character did something. You know what I mean? Or if the character isn't the main character, or something of that nature. Unless I make it a point, for readers to not understand why a character did something. If that's not the case, I want to understand why a character does things. I find that interesting. Moving on to the next topic I wanted to talk about, briefly anyway, was raft making. I've seen some videos on raft making, and I mean, well, they're going to be a whole lot prettier than what the knight's going to make. But the thing is, she's not going to spend all day on this raft, and she has limited resources. And plus, she's going to make something serviceable. And plus, she also has to get to the island, get them to the island, she and Eranthis to the island, and make a shelter, get food before the day's up. Moving on from that, it's been a while since I've uploaded anything. For one thing, there was the holidays, and, it's always a busy time during the holidays, and a lot of other things have been going on, and just trying to figure out, I've got a new work schedule and stuff, and just trying to figure out a schedule of sorts, as well as, trying to work on moving into a new place. And also, I'm working on a new thing that's, I feel like I really want to just upload it today, because I've got several of them recorded already, but a new segment for this channel called Brain Off, in which I it's sort of like a Let's Play, but the purpose of it is to practice turning off my brain, in the sense of, don't give myself too much time to think about what I'm going to say next, and just try and let words roll off the tongue. I think it will be good in helping with my anxiety and my overthinking, and just help me develop a skill, become better at just speaking. But that's, as well as having fun, it's, that's a second motive, for this segment. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be interesting. My first videos, at least, are going to be on me playing Stardew Valley. It'll be pretty silly. There's other things, I want to do with this channel. I need to update artistic assets, and anyway, I didn't want to, get on that train and, spend too long on that train. But that's, it's just what's been going on, and I remember, I would like to be able to dish these out faster, but with all the other projects that I want to do, this, Brain Off, and other projects, like my other book, not this one. I remember that when I first started these videos, I said that I can crank these out in a day. But that was back when I didn't spend, I don't know, I don't think I spent as much time or put as much effort into the commentary videos. And, with everything else, having more experience with this, and with all the, and just putting into consideration all the other projects that I want to work on, it's, I don't really want to spend 2 to 3 hours a day writing this and then spend an extra 3, 4, maybe 5 hours editing 2 of these videos, you know, for upload each day. You know, it's not that I am dispassionate about it. It's just, you know, I have to manage my time with everything else that I want to do. And, you know, I want to stay excited about all the stuff that I want to do and not get bogged down with one thing and get too frustrated with another about not doing another one. But anyway, a lot of exciting things happening in the near future. I will try to be more consistent with uploads and such, but with that being said, that's all I have time for in this part. Thank you for watching.